Just like APC in 2015, they put pressure on the Jonathan's PDP government. They put pressure from within. They accused Jonathan of not doing well, of insecurity in the country and all that. So there was a lot of pressure that the Jonathan government is not doing well. Then they went outside the country. They went abroad to apply international pressure. They went to the US, went to Europe and all that to put pressure on the Jonathan's government. The pressure then was on the Jonathan government to allow the Independent National Electoral Commission to do its work. There should be no interference from the presidency, from the ruling party, so that INEC can do a fair job, follow due process, and the elections will be free and fair to lead to emergence of whoever wins the election. So part of that pressure paid off in the sense that President Jonathan allowed INEC to do its work, even though some within Jonathan's party wanted, Jonathan to change the INEC leadership, wanted somebody who would turn the elections to the favor of Jonathan. Jonathan refused. And so INEC did its job, and Jonathan ended up losing, the incumbent president ended up losing the election, and Buhari emerged as president in 2015. So that kind of pressure tactics that was used by the APC then, that led to eventual victory and defeating the ruling party, that kind of pressure is what the coalition needs to apply currently. And so for them to do that, they have to have a popular candidate, and they have to have a united front, so that when they now go out, to seek for international support, they'll be able to succeed. So what has been the response of APC? Seeing that the coalition has consolidated and they have now adopted ADC as their party, what has been the response? APC is responding as they used to. Tinubu's government, they are responding the way they used to. They are using the tactics, the wicked tactics of causing disruption, causing disorganization within the opposition group. Now, the opposition coalition, they picked Wells Carlton Hotel, an apartment, Asokoro, Abuja, to use as the place where they will unveil ADC as the party they are adopting as their party. Then on the morning of July 2nd, morning of few hours to when this event was to hold, the Wells Carlton Hotel, they abruptly cancelled the reservation and said it was due to internal compliance matter. So the organizers have to quickly look for another venue, and the Deputy National Secretary Nkem Okandu, they announced that they picked the Shehu Musa Yaradua Center. So we see that the president and APC, they are using the same tactics, denying them of venue. So I wonder why they would do that. And so it seems that the APC is still trying to rely on the same strategy they've been using. They've used this strategy of trying to disrupt the opposition parties, disrupt PDP, disrupt Labour Party, cause a lot of problems in those parties. And when these parties are trying to organize or to do something, they will go and lock up their secretariat. Like PDP wanted to hold a meeting in their national secretariat, and you have police officers and all that chasing people away. So will the Tinubu presidency, will the Tinubu government continue to use the same tactics that they used in 2023 and post-2023, or will they change tactics? Another thing I think has been happening is that since the coalition group, they have been meeting for over 18 months, I think the President Tinubu has been aware that the opposition have been meeting. You can see that there is this urgency in recent months where the president has been pushing on opposition governors to defect. First you have the governor of Delta State defecting from PDP to APC. Then we have the governor of Akwa Ibom State defecting from PDP to APC. And it said that there are other governors within the PDP ranks, within the opposition ranks, that they want to defect to APC. I think the president knew that the opposition are consolidating, and so he wants to also use the federal might to coerce and to cajole and to make those governors in opposition who want to receive more allocations, who want to receive more things from the federal government, and who wants to be assured, those governors who are doing their first term as governors, and they feel that if they don't join the ruling party, they may lose re-election in 2027. So those governors that is in that tight position, they'll be put under pressure by the Tinubu government for them to defect from the PDP to APC. So I think the strategy that's being used by the President Tinubu in this regard may be a response to what the opposition coalition has been doing. So the question I now want to pose is that will Tinubu continue with the same tactics of using the weakest tactics of disruption and disorganization and all of that? Or will he pursue the policy of trying to drive more opposition governors to join his fold? We'll see how it unfolds. There are more challenges ahead for the opposition coalition. Now they've adopted ADC. The next question is, how are they able to organize their internal party politics so that eventually they can converge around a consensus candidate, a popular candidate that they can present to Nigeria as an alternative to the ruling APC Tinubu administration. Then the next thing is to put pressure on the Independent National Electoral Commission, because it's INEC that decides what happens in the election. INEC, we are the ones that holds the cards. The electoral law allows INEC to determine the mode of transmission of election results, and that is where the mago and the rule, the corruption, the rigging, that's where it is. Will INEC still use the beavers and the IREF server? Will they allow, transmission of results electronically? We've seen that INEC recently said that they are going to bring about new guidelines, which were kind of useless. INEC, electoral law gives INEC the power to decide on the mode of transmission of election results. And before the 2023 election, INEC came out with guidelines saying that they are going to use electronic transmission. That after Beavers has accredited, after results have been collated and results have been written in the result form, that the Beavers will be used to snap the results and it will now be uploaded to the IREF server. That was the guidelines. That was what was stated in the guideline. But in the day of election, the presidential election, that process was not followed to the full. Beavers was used to accredit quite alright, but in terms of now snapping the results and transmitting it to the IREF, to the server, that didn't happen because they switched off. There was a so-called glitch or virus or whatever they did to switch off the IREF server for the presidential election, and so results could not be transmitted electronically. Rather, they had to be done manually, and it opened the way for a lot of manipulations and all of that to take place. So INEC is still the one holding the cards. You understand? INEC is the one holding the cards. Then we have the courts, which, of course, not much can be done about the courts, except, if they put pressure on the government, probably there may be some judicial independence. But the main thing the opposition group can do, just like they did in 2015, that led to the emergence of an opposition candidate as president, is to put pressure from within and without on the National or the Independent Electoral Commission to follow its guidelines. If they make guidelines, they should follow it. Or if they can put pressure on the Parliament, the National Assembly, to make electoral reforms and make changes to Electoral Act, mandating INEC to enforce electronic transmission of results. So we see how all of this play out.